Hi everyone, welcome back to Studio 33 Art by Kay. Well, today we're going to be doing a double dip. Now, what a double dip is, for those of you who don't know, if you're new, you lay your paints down on one medium, like a tile or a canvas, whatever you're using, and then you get another piece of tile or whatever, place it on top, and then pull it off, and you get the most beautiful patterns. I found this technique particularly great for doing small coasters, and you can get just wonderful color combinations. And you know, if someone's got an idea of some color combinations that they want for their lounge room or whatever, you can really create some lovely pieces by doing a double dip. It's particularly good for the newbies. They can create something that's really worthwhile in quite a simple way. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some base paint down, and then after I've done the double dip, I'm just going to do a very basic one because I'm going to put some blooms around the edge. So it's a double dip with a bloom. Okay, so I'm just going to lay the paint down. Now you need to put enough paint so that when you put the other tile or piece of canvas over the top, there'll be enough paint to transfer onto the other piece. So I'll just spread this. Now I've already done the drip test to make sure my paints are all similar consistency. If you're not sure what that means, I've done that on a few other videos. But basically you just put a little drip of the paint onto some paper, and then let that drizzle down, and you check that they all the colours of paint run down at the same speed. Right, so I think that's about the right depth there. Should be enough paint on there to transfer over. So I'll just hit that with the heat embossing tool. This just bursts bubbles, but it also can help create cells. Right, now normally if you were doing a normal double dip, you would put it maybe in chevron shape. That makes very nice patterns when you put them together. And you would basically cover nearly all of the tile in paints. So you don't necessarily have to have a base paint if you're going to put enough drizzle with your other paints. I'm not going to be putting as much down today because I'd like to have a bit of negative space going on as well. So I'm just going to put some small little blobs around and just see how that goes. I really don't know. I haven't done this before. So the first colour I'm going to use, and all the colours will be in the description box below, and you get to this description box by clicking on the title of this video, and that will then create the drop down menu will come down and all the colours will be on there, but I'll quickly run through them as I'm applying them. The base coat that I've used today is the Eraldo white. All of the paints I'm using have been mixed with Australian Floetrol, and I don't use any glue or water or anything else like silicone. Everything's just Australian Floetrol. Just trying to keep it simple for myself so as I don't get confused by using too many different techniques. Okay, so this colour is the Tahitian, and it's global. So I'm just going to put a couple of little dots around. Don't want too much. I'm going to do my bloom through here, hopefully. Oops. This colour is the Eraldo Mintish, which is a very popular colour at the moment. So these may come out like little blooms, and they may not. I really don't know. This other colour here is Dark Sea by Global, which is just gorgeous. You only need a tiny bit of this though. A little bit goes a very long way. because it will tend to take over, even though it is a transparent. It certainly goes a long way. And I'm going to add a little bit of diamond, which is like a colour shift paint. Literally looks like little diamonds in the white there. Five. And just a tiny, tiny touch of gold. Not everybody likes to have gold in there, but I've got to have my gold. So this is Mont pouring paint gold, which is my favourite gold. It's a true, I call it true gold. Okay, so this is different to doing the chevron. I'll do one of those in the upcoming videos and over the next week or so you can see a normal double dip. Today I'm just trying something different. Now my biggest challenge is going to be trying to lift this tile up off that one, because the suction will be formed and it will be very difficult to lift. But we'll see how I go. So you just place that on top of there like that. Don't push it for too long, otherwise all the paint will squish out because it's quite heavy. Okay, let's see if I can lift this up. I've got to lift that and push the other one down at the same time. Got it. Okay, well that is very minimalistic. Didn't end up with much at all. But it actually might be very pretty. If I'm going to have my bloom coming around, I'll come this way instead of in the direction that I was going to. So you'll see how the two tiles look very similar. And the bottom one will always have a lot more paint on it than the top one. They've turned out really quite nice. Okay, so now I'll just do my bloom up through here. I'll hit it with the heat torch, burst any bubbles. And there's not a lot of paint here, so I'll need to add a little bit more. And I'll just leave where the pattern is formed. And just make sure I've got my edges covered. So that was quite hard to separate actually, because of the suction. And a little bit more on the edge here. Certainly harder to do a larger tile like these are 20 centimetre by 20 centimetre. When you're doing the little 100s, much easier. Now that paint will level off when it dries, hopefully. Right. Yeah. Clean my tools as I go. I just use a paper towel and just wipe them off like that, and that keeps them clean to use again. Okay, well that little pattern is actually quite nice. I want that to come up a bit more though. I'll hit it with the heat gun again, that might bring up those cells. And I might even just use a straw just to blow that out. If only I could see what I've done with my straw. And it's totally disappeared. Oh, here it is. So I just use a straw that I've, paper straw that I've just flattened the end out. And just gently blow, because I can see there's paint under there that's hiding. Okay. So really might as well have just done little blooms really. Still, you've got to give these things a go. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a little bloom here. And then another small one here. And a small one here. This one will be a bit bigger. Blend my paints. Doesn't really matter what order you put your paints in. I'm just going to put just a little bit of the dark sea, because it's so pigmented, or pigmented I should say, pigmented, new word. Just put a little bit of the diamond. And a tiny bit of gold. It would help if I opened it, of course. Not too much gold, I don't want that taking over. And now some cell activator. Just drizzle it around so you don't end up with a great big heavy blob in the middle there. But you need enough on there that when you go to blow it out, you've got enough to sort of go in each direction. And you can see that the consistency is correct for your cell activator, and it just creates a little bit of a halo around. I think you can see there where you've got this slight halo. It hasn't gone all fractalated, it's just a little halo. And that sort of gives you the idea of the consistency being correct. Okay, so I'm just going to blow these out by mouth. So forgive the back of my head for a moment, and I'll be back with you soon. Okay, so we've got a lot of beautiful cells there, a lot of lovely lacing. I'll just hit it with the heat embossing tool just to bring up any more cells. And now I will use a bamboo skewer, or this is actually a bamboo chopstick, just to draw in the petal shapes. See here where it's still very black, where the cell activator hasn't spread out too much. I'll just blow into that again, just to get it to spread a bit further. There we go. And you can also just blow into an area like that gently with a straw, and that will help to bring up some cells as well. Because the paint is under there, it's just that I literally put too much cell activator on there and it buried the colours under. So here they all come. Right. I'll just draw some shape into these guys. These guys here aren't quite what I was imagining. So I think they're taken away from it all more than anything. Whereas I think the blooms look very nice. The actual lacing here is just beautiful. So I'm not sure why that is, but something reacted well together. And you can do a little balloon smash in the middle if you want to do that. But with these, because I'm liking the cell activity that's gone on in there, I think it would be a shame to do a balloon smash in there. I'm just loving, and I'm so glad I put that bit of gold there. It's formed lovely edges, and also that's the main part of the center of these blooms. So I could just scrape these off, or I could just try using a balloon, because I can scrape it off if I hate it anyway. So just try that. Might get some nice little fairies going on there. So as far as the double dip goes, guys, forget I ever did that, because it really didn't do what I was hoping for. But as I say, if you don't try these things, you never ever know. They look quite pretty, actually. Not sure about this one here, though. Might get rid of that one. What do you think, guys? Shall I scrape this one off? I think I will. Oops. Get rid of the green paint off the trowel. So when I put the white down, it's not going to intermingle too much with that paint. And you can just get a paper towel and just finish, you know, getting that off there. And this is what you can do. All is not lost. So now I'll just put some more white paint down to cover that. And it's literally a moving feast sometimes. You just keep going until you get something that you like. And if all else fails, you can scrape the whole thing. Which you got to try not to do, because there's a lot of paint on there. And although people say it's only paint, paint is also money. It's not cheap. Okay. So I think I might put another little one of these guys up here, just to come up to that corner. Okay, so they're just like pretty little fireflies or such. And just put a little bit of wispy through there. Okay, I think that looks quite nice. And do I need to do anything else here? Maybe a little swizzle. Through there, a little swizzle up through there. Maybe another bit of a swizzle through there as well. Right. So there we have it, guys. I hope you like that. I think it's very pretty. And as I say, it's totally different to what I thought we'd end up with, but nonetheless, I think it's very nice. I'm just finishing my edges. Always make sure your edges are covered. So when it dries, you've got nice covered edges. And once you put it on, I'll take it off the turntable here in a minute, and I'll put it on to 4 cups. And when you do that, once you do that, make sure there's no drips coming off still, because if there is, and they keep dripping, they will pull the paint off your tile, and your whole composition will look different when you come back to it a couple of hours later. You won't recognise what you had there in the beginning, which would not be a good thing. So I'll bring you down for a close-up, and you can let me know what you think. So here we are. It's turned out a beautiful piece, even if not what we originally started off with. Colours are lovely. It's a beautiful bloom. The cells are just amazing. So that global black does create beautiful cells and lacing. Look at that. And there's my little fairies from the original dip. And the last one there. Nice bit of shimmer coming across with the gold there. So there we have it. That should make a beautiful trivet. And that's all we have for now. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'd really love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thanks so much for viewing my videos. And I'll see you back in Studio 33 in the near future. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.